guy brought up a good question. He goes, I wonder if you asked how many doctors would they go into the profession if they knew all that was going on right now, if they would do it again. And I'm like, that's a tough question. But what if I put it to a teacher coach like you?
Yeah, that's a good question. And we kind of, as veteran teachers, we talk about it all the time. No, as a coach, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I would coach doing anything. If I was a surgeon, I would try to find time to step away in between brain surgeries and coach if I could. And I know that's not realistic, but we talk about teaching now, and I'm not sure right now if I was a young teacher if this would be the first thing I would jump into. Not because the administration is not good or because the kids aren't good. It's just gotten really unrealistic. It used to be about the kids, and now it's about the scores. And if football gets the way teaching is, where it's no longer about the players, it's about the play, and it's time to get out of coaching too. So as long as we can keep it about the kids and trying to improve their quality of life and improve their opportunities to move on and succeed, then teaching is continuing to be a good occupation. But if it changes, if it's going in the direction it's going and continues, then it could be very difficult to make that decision.
So I'm going to put you in the uncertain category. About coaching, definitely. About teaching, you would have some second thoughts if you were doing it all over again.
I'd have some second thoughts. I love doing what I'm doing, but I just see the future and the direction it's going, and I really, truly feel like it's more about the achievement of the school based on the scores, and it's not about the achievement of the kids when they move on and advance. We lose sight of that. It used to be, you move a kid out, you improve him, you give him a great opportunity, he goes to college, he comes back and tells you a success story, and you say, boy, that makes it all worth it. And now we as teachers are so worried about our school grade because you could be taken over, more demands are being put on you from people that are not in education, that don't do the teaching, and it makes it very difficult for you to get up and go to work in the morning and say, boy, I'm doing a great job, and everybody knows it. So it's tough.
Right, got to be, I know that a lot of people are thinking the same way, that if Roy Richards is saying that, because,
Sure.
Let's be straight, you're whether you want to admit it or not, you're one of the deans of region coaches right now. A lot of people look up. So you hold some sway, not just in the coaching community, but you've been in education for a long time. For you to say that, basically you don't like the trend of education and so forth, I mean, that means something.
It does, and it means something to me to say it, too, because it's difficult. I absolutely love doing what I'm doing. I love being who I am, being able to make the impact I make, or at least in my mind I'm making, and I'm enjoying that. And it's really what drives me. Understanding that there are people that are trying to change the focus or direction of what we're doing, and they're not in the pits with you. They're not in there rolling their sleeves up and doing the dirty work. And I look at the teachers at Morton, man, they are working really hard. The administration's working really hard. And sometimes you worry that the focus is on the wrong thing. It's, we say to ourselves in our building, boy, we really got to work these kids. We got to improve these kids. It's all about the kids. And we do say it, and we believe it. But you're being evaluated on the scores. As a teacher, you're being evaluated on your scores. As a school, you're being evaluated on the test scores. So much is lost in the meaning of improving the quality of life of people that teaching is being thrown into those other categories of would I do it again? And it's difficult. I mean, the great teachers, I heard a gentleman say, sometimes you can't get rid of a teacher. Man, go to the school and see how hard those teachers work, and then call back and say that again. There are a lot of teachers that do a whole lot more than just teach, from 7:30 to 4:30. Then they go home, and then my wife does it. She has 2 hours of lesson plans every night, organizing everything. We're not asking for a pat on the back, but please don't get on the radio and say, boy, you can't get rid of a teacher once they're in there. You go there and see what that teacher does, and maybe you should say they shouldn't get rid of a teacher once they're in there.
Now, I know we'll get to the sports in just a second, but Roy Richards, what about other teachers and the morale, say, in the last 5 years?
Oh, it's definitely gone down. There's no doubt about it. I think a lot of teachers say, boy, I don't like what's going on here. My retirement is at this day, and I'll go and do that. But I do truly believe that the people that love to teach, and we have a lot of them in Hammond, that are saying, okay, it's difficult, it's different, it's changing, the community's changing, times are changing. we've got to change with it and just understand that this is part of our job and say and do what they want. I think the good people are still going to fight the good fight.
Let's go to Carl from Hessville, see how Carl's doing. Hey, Carl, what do you think?
Good morning. I just wanted to give a big amen to Coach Richards there.
Thank you, Carl.
As a fellow educator and school administrator, I would defy anybody who's that critical of the profession to just spend a week teaching kids. You're welcome to come to my urban inner city elementary school and just see how simple and easy it is, because it ain't just sitting there talking to the kids and having them take notes. There's a whole lot of drama. Every child walks into a building with a particular set of baggage, and you have to deal with that. It's the human element, and I'll go with that's why teaching is always going to be an art rather than a science.